So the stock market isn't doing too well. Every index, including the S&P 500, including the Nasdaq, including the FTSE 100, is down. The high interest environments are here to stay and investors know it. It seems like the value of every company has been lowered due to this. So let's see how my Freetrade portfolio has responded to all of this. So this is my Freetrade general investment account and I no longer actually deposit into this. And as you can see, the portfolio isn't doing too well at all, with the current value at £9,383, down by £3,251 overall. And this doesn't include the two bankrupt companies that I have. So realistically, it is down around £5,000. So I've had a really bad month this month. As you can see, the portfolio at the start of the month was £10,462 in value and has since gone down quite a bit. Past 3 months, again, even worse picture. It is down by £1,920, and at its peak at the end of July, it was around £11,500. So in this video, I'm going to go through all of my holdings and show you how my Freetrade portfolio is actually surviving. So first, I want to go into insights and show you how I've been performing compared to the market. So over the past month, as you can see, both the market and myself have been doing incredibly bad. I am down over the past month by a money weighted rate of return of -10%, and the FTSE All-World at the same time is down by 0.7%. So I've been doing way worse than the market has, and this is because I've made a very stupid amount of decisions 2 years ago and I'm still paying for that. Past 3 months, even worse, I'm down 16%, and the FTSE All-World in the past 3 months is basically down 0.67%. So first, I have 1.76 shares in CSN and they are down by 50% in my portfolio. Over the past month, they are down by 11.96%, which is a very huge amount. They currently pay a dividend yield of 26.15%, which is incredibly high and is subject to be cut at any point given such high dividend yields. Remember, don't just invest into a company because of their dividend yield. Usually a high dividend yield indicates that a dividend is going to be stopped by the company or that the share price is a lot lower than the target price. So yeah, definitely don't invest into this company because of its high dividend yield. If we look at analyst ratings, we can see that 23% are favorable, 23% unfavorable, and 54% are neutral. And currently there are no price targets on Freetrade. So next I have 0.1 shares in Intel and they are down by 37% in my portfolio. Over the past month, they are up by 0.32%, which is a very small amount. However, it is good to see Intel going up a bit because they are a very key player in actually processing technologies, which we're going to need a lot more as the AI boom comes into play. Of course, we have other chip makers now such as ARM and even Nvidia and AMD making their own dedicated chips for AI processing. So the future of Intel as recently is very much unknown. But in terms of what analysts think, they are 65% neutral, 16% unfavorable, and 19% favorable. They think that at the highest band, it could go up to $56 per share, which would be nice to see for me. But again, I don't have a lot invested in Intel, so I don't really care too much about losing this money. So next I have Xinhuan Real Estate, and that is down by 90% in my portfolio. So a huge loss, currently valued at £9.99. Over the past month, they are down by 1.43%. Looked like they were recovering slightly and then they took a massive hit on the 19th of October. The 19th of October actually corresponds to a lot of actual decreases in the stock market because of lots of stuff going on in America, with bond yields actually increasing a lot. The S&P 500 overall has tanked. Because of this high interest environment, businesses are going to have to actually make a lot more profit in order to see more profits. So this has put the whole stock market out of whack. Currently, Xinhuan Real Estate does not pay any dividends and there are no analyst ratings for that. So next I have 1.34 shares in Gap and they are down by 9.65% in my portfolio, currently worth £13.07. However, in the past month, they actually did really well. They are up by 17.5%. They pay a nice dividend yield of 5.7%. Also, what I like about Freetrade is that the expected dividend payment date is shown here. So I am expected a dividend on the 25th of October. And what I really like is that it details the dividend payment date and it also details the ex-dividend date. So if you go into it, you can see the dividend payment date, the dividend per share. So that's 15 cents per share. The ex-dividend date. So if you held it on the 3rd of October, you would be expected this payment. And you can actually add it to your calendar too if you really care about dividends. So analysts are 16% favorable for Gap, 63% neutral, and 21% saying nah. At the highest price targets, they are thinking it could go up to $18 per share, which is a decent amount more than what it is currently. Next, I have 1.7 shares in Kindra. Over the past month, they are down by 6%. Pretty favorable by analysts, 75% neutral, 25% favorable. At a high target, they're thinking $25 per share. That would be nice to see anyway. So next I have 8 shares in the GSPX S&P 500. As you can see, the S&P 500 overall has not been doing too great. Overall, past month, they are down by 3.63%. However, I'm going to be buying into the S&P 500 as much as possible because I think at 7.17 it is a good price. I do think it might go down below £7, and I think right now is the time to buy. Very, very soon, within 2 years, I think the price will go way back to what it was plus more. But then again, I am no financial advisor or predictor or fortune teller or anything like that. That is just my personal prediction. Please don't buy into anything thinking that it's definitely going to go up because someone on the internet said so. So next I have 10 shares in Saturna Al Kauthar. They are down 1% over the past month. In my portfolio, down around 9%. That is a loss of £5.86. Okay, so next is one of my worst performing companies, Clover Health. I have 85 shares in them. They are down over the past month by 7.5%. Honestly, it's ridiculous at this point. Overall, I am down 92% with a loss of £825. Analysts, however, are quite favourable, 25% being favourable, 75% being neutral. They think it could go up to $3 per share, which is still a huge loss for me. I bought it at around $14.60 per share. So next I have 19 shares in ESG Global by Vanguard. Over the past month, they are down by 3%. And in my portfolio, they're down by £2.98 or a loss of £3.98. So next, another company doing incredibly bad, which is Aston Martin, and I have 41 shares in them. Over the past month, down by 26%, incredibly bad. They give me a loss of £748 unrealized, down 89%. They don't pay a dividend yield. However, analysts aren't too unfavorable, with 46% being favorable, 45% being neutral, and only 9% being unfavorable. Highest they think it could go is 550, which is a lot lower than what I bought it for, at £20.44 per share. So next I have 103 shares in AGM Holding, another company which has been doing incredibly bad. They are down 1.37% in the past month, and that is a loss of £762, which again is a huge loss, down 85%, and there is no analyst ratings for this. So next I have 103 shares in AGM Holdings, again a company that is down humongously at 85% negative, currently worth £131. Over the past month they are down by 1.37%. In my portfolio they're down by £762. Currently there are no analyst ratings. So next I have one share in CrowdStrike, down by £7.58. In the past month they are actually up by 7.57%. In my portfolio they're down by 7.58%, so that's £12.05 loss. Analysts are quite favourable here anyway, 89% being favourable, 11% being neutral, and they think that it could go up to a price target of around $250 per share, and that will be quite nice for me. Next, another big loss of Cognite Software, so 43.8 shares in that, and they are down by 81% with a value of £165 in my portfolio. In the past month they are down by a huge 12%, and in my portfolio they have a loss of £728. Now analysts are kind of torn between this, so 33% being favorable and 67% being neutral. Price target on the upper bound is $9.50, which is not going to be good for me because I bought it at $28 per share. So next, another big company, another big loss. Fastly, I have 20 shares in that, and that is down by 72%. That is currently valued at £241 in my portfolio. Over the past month, down by 21%. That is a loss of £652, so not too good at all. Analysts 33% favorable, 50% saying nothing, and 17% unfavorable. At the upper bound, a price target of around $26.50. So I bought this for $61, so I don't think I'm ever going to be making my money back on this. Next is the gravely disappointing Metro Bank. I have 581 shares in that, and that is down by 67% in my portfolio, currently worth only £255. So that is down 34% from the last month, and that was a lot due to the fact that Metro Bank was on the brink of bankruptcy, and then a Colombian billionaire actually bailed them out. So I actually made a video on that if you want to check that out. But since then, it has recovered the tiniest amount, but overall it is still down by a huge amount. And that is a loss in my portfolio of £536. Overall, analysts are very much unfavorable about Metro Bank and the future of the bank in terms of its profitability, and the fact that it's a public company is very uncertain. Upper bound, they think £6, which is actually a 1,263% increase, and I would love to see it go to that amount. So the next company, I have 345,823 shares, and that is in Alba Mineral. Not doing too good at all, down by 68.7%, so nearly 69%. Not nice. Currently, they have a value of £293.95 in my portfolio. Over the past month, they are down by 5.45% overall, and in my portfolio, they are down by £645. And there are no analyst price targets for this. Next, I have 6 shares in Alibaba, and they are down by a humongous 60%, currently valued at £397. As you can see, down by 5% overall, not doing good at all. With the current tensions between every single country, it seems like the China tensions are getting worse from China and America, and the future of this company and many others like this are very uncertain. Down by £596 in my portfolio. However, analysts are overwhelmingly favorable, 93% being favorable, but no price targets to see on the Freetrade app. So next, I have 33 shares in Shoals, and they are down by 53% in my portfolio. Overall, in the last month, they are down by nearly 25%, and in my portfolio, that is a loss of £474. Analysts seem to be quite favorable here, with a price target of $42 per share, and I would be very happy with that, as I will be in the profit and I would actually be selling off this stock. Next, I have 41 shares in Corsair. They are down by 55% in my portfolio. Overall, in the past month, they have not been doing too well at all, down by 10.91%. In my portfolio, down by a huge £548. Analysts are quite favorable here, with a price target of $21. Again, I bought this at around $33 per share, so I won't be making a profit even at the best case scenario that the analysts are projecting. So last, in terms of my individual shares, I have 6.6 shares in Baidu. They are down by a big 34%. In the past month, they are down by 17.42%, which is very, very bad. There was something that happened on the 11th of October that made it go down quite a lot, and in my portfolio, they are down by £311. Analysts are still quite, however, very favorable for this company, but no targets are seen on the Freetrade app. And lastly, because I no longer want to invest in individual stocks in my account, I actually have the majority of the money on my general investment account into ETFs. So I have 224 shares in the FTSE 250. Over the past month, that is down by a staggering 8.28%, which is incredibly high for an index. As you can see, the loss here is £773, so a very high loss there. But I think currently at 26.35, you're getting it at a steal, because the last time it was this price was at the peak of the pandemic, and of course since then things had gone up a lot. Now here is my stocks and shares ISA, so this is 2 years worth of deposits of £20,000 each. Currently in my ISA I am still up by £9,346, but as you can see over the past 3 months, literally it's down by £3,337. Over the past month, a staggering loss of £2,517. Now compared to the market, I am down. However, overall I have very much beat the market. That was at a time when I was trying to time the market, and a lot of my sales actually made sense. But now I have less time to actually keep looking at the market, and I will no longer just be buying and selling. I will rather just be buying periodically, which is probably more recommended than anything else, because when you dollar cost average, you buy at many different prices. A lot of the times you're buying at lower prices, and when the market goes up, as it usually does in the long term, you're going to be making that money from all the purchases that you made that were very good value. So my ISA is a lot simpler than my general investment account, and as you can see, I have 2,403 shares in Alba Mineral, down by 65%. I have 554 shares in Mast, and Mast has been doing terribly over the past month, down by 30%. In my portfolio, they're down by £53. Amazon, I have 0.2 shares in that, not still sure why I have that, up by 48%. As you can see, down by 4.42% in the past month, but overall they are up by 48% in my portfolio, up by £7.75. I have 3 shares in Disney, a company that isn't doing too well. Over the past month, however, they have stayed quite steady with a loss of only 0.57%. In my portfolio, down by a big 180% £111, so that is a 35% loss. Analysts are still quite favourable, however, with this company 71% being favourable, with the price target of $125 per share. For comparison, I bought this at $137 per share, so that will be a nice price to go back up to. So my second biggest holding is in the FTSE 250, and I have 738 shares in that. Like I showed you before, down by 8.3% in the past month. In this ISA, it is down by a huge £2,059.05. So lastly, I have 4,137 shares in the iShares S&P 500, and that is down by a big 6%. Like I showed you again, overall in the S&P 500, down by 3.63% in the past month, and that is a big loss of £1,938. So make sure to check out some of my other videos, and I will see you in the next video.